Reacher Season 3 eventually reveals the true motivation of its antagonists after progressively tearing apart the fabric surrounding their main scheme. Reacher Season 3, which is based on Lee Child's Persuader, closely adheres to the original plot by demonstrating how the title character has personal interests in his new undercover assignment. He has a long history with Xavier Quinn, the main antagonist, who brutally killed Dominique Cole, his partner in military law enforcement. Reacher Season 3 also introduces a number of secondary antagonists, including Polly, Duke and Zachary Beck in addition to Quinn. Although Quinn is unmistakably the pack leader, each of the other antagonists in Reacher Season 3 takes on a distinct role in his immoral scheme. The intricacies of Quinn's criminal network are gradually revealed in Reacher Season 3. But as the season progresses, it becomes clear where each antagonist fits into the larger plot and how Quinn has used violence, intimidation and manipulation to create his criminal empire. According to Quinn's Reacher backstory, he has a lengthy criminal past. Before Reacher and Cole discovered the truth about his actions and attempted to stop him, he surreptitiously sold sensitive information to outside parties even while serving in the military in order to make a quick profit. Reacher shot Quinn off a cliff in an attempt to exact revenge for her death after Quinn killed Cole. Quinn, however, managed to survive the fall and the gunshot after the bullet lodged in his skull. How he survived and what transpired in the years that followed are not extensively explored in the series. But since Quinn does not recognize Reacher after meeting him in Episode 6 of Season 3, it appears that he suffered from amnesia following a gunshot wound to the head and has no memory of Jack Reacher. Quinn apparently continued his illegal activities even after being given another chance at life. In order to establish his own arms smuggling business, he took on the alias Julius McCabe and targeted a major dealer such as Zachary Beck. Quinn simply threatened to harm Beck and his family before Beck gave up and allowed him complete control of his arms smuggling network, rather than negotiating a formal agreement. When Quinn finds out that Zachary Beck's maid was an ATF agent, he becomes more and more enraged. He is unable to make his big sale on time due to the revelation and a significant shipment delay, which keeps him from paying the Russian mob. In order to operate his gun smuggling operation in the Northeast, Quinn obtained a loan on the black market from Taktarov, a dangerous member of the Russian mafia, as implied in Reacher Season 3 Episode 6. He hoped to close a big deal that would eventually help him pay off his debt by using Beck's business network. To his disappointment, though, things did not turn out as he had hoped. He can only give the Russian mob a partial payment to deter them for a while when they finally show up at his door. But before he departs, Taktarov tells him that if he doesn't pay, he will have to worry about himself. Quinn asks his men to boost security by investigating anyone who might be betraying him as a result of this, becoming even more desperate and suspicious of the people he is working with. He understands that the Russian mob will not spare him if he misses his next sale. The title character in Reacher Season 3 finally makes the connection in Episode 6, realizing that Zachary Beck was successfully operating a gun-running operation on his own long before Quinn even entered the picture. He concealed his immoral enterprise by passing it off as the Bizarre Bazaar, a rug-selling company. Reacher concludes, however, that Quinn absorbed Beck in his company by threatening to harm him and his family. In order to warn Beck, Quinn took drastic measures, abducting Richard, Beck's son, and even amputating his ear. In order to protect his son, Beck eventually relinquished control of his gun-running business due to Quinn's savagery. Beck tells Reacher that the Russian mob has Quinn by his throat and that there is nothing he can do to stop them when they discuss Quinn in Episode 6 of Season 3. Quinn's life hinges on a major sale, which has been postponed considerably due to unfavorable weather on the Red Coast, Beck continues. Beck informs Reacher that the buyers were even considering canceling the purchase because of the shipment delays. He barely kept things together though because Quinn's life was on the line. Quinn, who fears for his life, vents his resentment on Zachary Beck and his son, accusing them of being responsible for the delays and his precarious situation. Beck feels powerless and tries to figure out how to get out of the situation because he is aware of what Quinn is capable of doing to him and his son. Beck appears to have some influence over who gets to work in the company and his mansion, despite Quinn's lack of interest in his viewpoint. For example, Beck claims to have hired Annette, the undercover maid, and expresses regret for letting her work at his house. After Quinn takes over Beck's company, many of his truckers and goons, including Angel, still work for him. Quinn, however, has some of his men constantly watch Beck to make sure he stays under his control and doesn't try to outsmart him. Quinn apparently enlisted John Chapman Duke, Beck's former head of security, to guard the entire gun smuggling operation. Polly, played by Olivier Richter, appears to be Zachary Beck's bodyguard as well, but he is under Quinn's supervision. As a result, Polly takes a back seat and makes Beck and his son comply with Quinn's torture. Quinn has the last say on whether Reacher can succeed Duke as his head of security, even though Beck only suggests that he could take Duke's place. Overall, Quinn keeps a firm hold on everything, including Beck's business operations and the men who work for him. The Special Investigation Unit member who previously assisted Reacher in running Quinn's plates is captured by 2 gunmen shortly after Quinn declares a crackdown on any outsiders who have attempted to bring down his operation. In Episode 6 of Season 3, a few gunmen also show up at Neagley's private detective services office because Reacher also enlisted Neagley's assistance. Neagley eliminates all 3 men at once, showcasing her tactical intelligence and military background. The role that the gunmen play for Quinn is not made clear in Reacher Season 3 Episode 6, but it appears that Quinn hired them from a reputable contractor. The fact that the gunmen don't show up in the vicinity of Beck's gun-smuggling operation suggests that they were hired specifically to eliminate any threat to Quinn and his company. As implied in Episode 6 of Reacher Season 3, Quinn and the hired gunmen appear to undervalue Neagley and do not recognize her full potential until it is too late.